Welcome to the first
Not
series, the
considered
first
blue chip
episode
prospects,
of the
but they
Ken
all
Griffey
have
the
blue chip
third series.
aspirations.
My name is SportsVlog98. I'm making a return to making YouTube videos, and I thought that a Road to the Show Ken Griffey the third series would be an interesting way to go about things. I know Ken Griffey III is actually Ken Griffey Jr.'s real legitimate son, and baseball wasn't the route he chose. He is a wide receiver in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. He's a couple of years older than I am, and that's all fine and well. But for entertainment purposes, I decided to make Ken Griffey III a baseball player trying to follow in the footsteps of his father and his grandfather. So obviously you can see modeled nearly exactly after his father. Wears the same number in honor of him, and he's just trying to go out there every day and make his dad proud. Obviously a center fielder, bats left, throws left. Nothing different than the regular Ken Griffey. Just trying to make a name for himself in the baseball world. And so here he is taking some hacks at the uh, draft combine here. Coming out of the East region, Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey the third rather was born in Florida, so he's obviously going to be from the East Coast. Ken Griffey's real son, Ken Griffey III, went to Arizona University to play football. He's a wide receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think I've already mentioned that, but just recapping here. So Ken Griffey III actually is a real person. He's actually Ken Griffey Jr.'s son. But baseball obviously isn't the route that he chose. I'm not sure how much of a successful wide receiver he is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Haven't necessarily looked into it all that much, but being a sports fan and stuff like that, I definitely could tell you. I think I would know if Ken Griffey Jr.'s son was a contributing wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that being said, I think that this is going to be in one of the more interesting series on YouTube, just because it's truly based upon, a family storyline. You know the name Ken Griffey, you know the swingman, you know his father, you know his grandfather, some of you. And so obviously Ken Griffey III has a lot of work to do. As you can see by that throw to third base, it was definitely one of the worst throws I could have imagined for a situation like that. And here he just takes a terrible route to the ball. But the thing is, we're going to work with Ken Griffey the third. He's going to work his way up through the farm system for whatever team he gets drafted for. Obviously, it'd be very, very cool to have him get drafted by the Seattle Mariners, the Cincinnati Reds, one of those teams where Ken Griffey Jr. was really, a prominent figure. Prominent figure in his career when he was in his prime, obviously with Seattle, and then was still a contributing member for a little while on the Cincinnati Reds team. So that's obviously very, very cool. Being the grandson of Ken Griffey Sr. too, that's something that also puts baseball in your bloodline. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you anymore with Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. talk. Let's start to focus more here on the career of Ken Griffey III himself. As we work our way through his career, there's going to be some times where things just don't go our way. His father, Ken Griffey Jr., is known as the Kid. Ken Griffey III may have a tough time making a name for himself like Ken Griffey Jr. did out of the right out of the gate. So here you see him going through a representative of a scout. So let's go through these questions quick. I'd like to get a little more information from you, Ken, that I can pass on to any interested big league franchises. Of course, anything you need. Just to answer this, what type of outfielder do you see yourself becoming? Okay, so if we take a look at these right here, right? D. Gordon and Kenny Lofton don't necessarily fill the mold of a Ken Griffey III kind of player. Obviously, he's going to be able to go out there and maybe not be the exact same way as his father, but obviously his father's going to give him pointers, and power was most certainly not a weakness of his father. So I'm thinking that probably the best guy to go with here would be more of a Vlad Guerrero, Yoenis Cespedes build, because while Jim Edmonds and Aaron Judge are almost entirely different players, I feel like Ken Griffey is just more of a one of these kind of guys where he may not be the fastest guy in the field, and don't get me wrong, Ken Griffey definitely had some speed, but I just think that defensively wise, these attributes are more what Ken Griffey would be. He had a good arm, and obviously the field and the reaction is going to be able to be worked up. But here, now that I think about it, maybe this is more of the guy that we need. This might be more of the mold, now that I think about it. Still has all the power. I've changed my mind completely over the course of that to the powerhouse build. This player is more of a typical left fielder. It could limit your overall potential as a center fielder. A franchise might end up wanting you to move to left. I still think this is the best build for us. And so hopefully we become a center fielder one day. Alright, so let me see. Okay, why don't we play there? Well, I'll do this all in one episode. Let's do the showcase games as well. So for those of you that have never played Road to the Show before, you get 2 showcase games. You're going to get drafted, but then you have the opportunity to, stay if you don't think that
afternoon baseball here on
if you don't think that you were drafted where necessarily you would merit being drafted. And so I got to give big props to TD Barrett, the YouTuber. He does a great Road to the Show, and I was just watching basically the playlist of his videos the other day, and that's what got me inspired to do my own Road to the Show. But I didn't want to necessarily do it off me as a baseball player. Me as a baseball player, I never really made it anywhere. I would never be in a 2018 showcase. But Ken Griffey III is. And so that's why I thought this was a very cool route to go with, as Ken Griffey is going to ground out to first base in his first at-bat of the showcase. He's playing center field here, though. That's a very good sign. Hasn't been moved to left yet. Basically, the way these Road to the Shows go, I probably am going to end up getting moved to left field at some point or another. That's a very good catch by that left fielder to extend himself into the gap. So that's something obviously that I think would go very well with
here comes the first pitch.
Translating myself to a major league team if I have to play left for a little while. But, Ken Griffey Jr.'s kid is not going to be playing no left field for a long time, I can tell you that much. The move to center field is almost certain, and in situations where it's time for me to pick a ball club, I'm going to base it off who's going to let me play center field. And so Ken Griffey Jr.'s son, Ken Griffey III, will not be a left fielder. He's also not going to be moving to first base or third base, like the other secondary positions may have suggested for the kid. So still hitless here in the
Ready for another
showcase.
shot.
You know, not a great showcase for Ken Griffey, but
The 2-2.
he still has to, you know, oh, excuse me, he still has to work his way up as a ball player. And we have the opportunity to throw somebody out at the plate here, and he is safe. You know, not a bad throw there. I feel like I could have got that off a little early. I just got distracted by my own dialogue. And so here we are in the 6th, runner on second, one out, with a chance to get a run in. And that ball is smoked to center, and it's going to get by him. So we're going to have an extra base hit here, probably a triple. And that is what Ken Griffey III will make his impact in the showcase with. His first hit is an RBI triple, and he is fired up. So now we're going to have a chance to score here, hopefully, at some point, get ourselves a run in, and see how things go. That's going to be ball 4, though, and so we are still on third base, one out, one strike to the batter. I don't need a double play here. Need something to get me in. That ball's on the ground. Could be a tailor-made 2. Beats it out at second. And I can't tell if he was safe or out at first. Safe at first. Run scores. And the East region is up 3-2. So runner on first here. Chance to do some more damage in the 8th inning.
First pitch of the at-bat.
Late on a two-seam fastball for strike 1. Yeah, I would have been crushed, honestly, if that ball was caught for that triple. You know, that was pieced up, solid contact. You know, still get the beautiful swing of a Griffey. And who knows? Maybe Ken Griffey III will end up with his own swingman shoe one day. Obviously, it'll have to be, you know, his own brand, but nonetheless, none of these generic cleats that they're wearing in the showcase today. So the 0-1 to Griffey is a changeup low and out of the zone and swung at for strike 2. Another check over to first base. And the 0-2 now to Ken Griffey III.
0-2 count.
Here's the pitch, and it swung on. A terrible pitch to swing at there by Ken Griffey III. But it looks like the East region is going to come away with the victory here. Final score 3-2. We're going to return to the clubhouse, and that's going to do it all for this video, because next video I want to do the second showcase game and show you where we get drafted. So make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the Ken Griffey content. I'm SportsFlags98, and